Hi, Russell Broadbent here, your independent federal member for Monash. With the federal budget being handed down later tonight, I want to draw your attention to a cohort of people that are paying the price for this government spending spree. It's mums and dads, middle income earners, who are carrying more than their fair share of the tax burden. These Australians bear the brunt of personal income taxes, GST, property taxes, without seeing a fair return in terms of access to public services or infrastructure. If this year's federal budget from the Albanese Labor Government goes the way I expect, I fear that we will be heading down an unfortunate track. We need to change. We need to support middle income Australians. It can't be all bills and no benefit. I expect there will be a multitude of cost of living measures, or sugar hits as I like to call them. These temporary fixes are concerning because the real reason Australians need such help is due to the government's own policy failures. The more the government offers these band-aid solutions, the more it keeps Australians dependent on government. Much like how sugary cereals are marketed as healthy for children, promising a quick fix while ignoring the long-term consequences of their consumption. Neglect the issue, advertise the problem and sell the solution. Like a salesman, it seems the government is always there at the right time with just the remedy we need. But like buying a new car every year, do you really need it? Do we really need taxpayer-funded $200 off our energy bill when the government's policy has caused them to go up by far more than $200? Do we really need taxpayer-funded home buyer grants when it's the government's own neglect which has seen Australian housing be amongst the most expensive in the world? It's the most perverse scenario where Australians pay tax, battle less than ideal conditions, and then are expected to be forever grateful because of some cost of living measure. We can address the cost of living using policy rather than more debt. An example, we should abandon costly and unrealistic goals like net zero, which impose endless burdens with no clear economic or environmental benefit. Further, we will need to cut useless red tape on small businesses, farmers, and housing developments to assure timely and cost-efficient outcomes. And lastly, the public service and public funded employment is due for a reassessment because in recent times it has accounted for an unacceptably large proportion of total employment growth. We need to support more productive industries which create benefit and can alleviate tax burdens for the everyday Australian. No responsible business or household would budget that the way the Australian government does. It's reckless to put politics ahead of pragmatism, and all it means is Australians are collateral damage in the bickering between the red and the blue team. To conclude, I want to see our fiscal policy addressed in three main things. Tax burden on middle income earners reduced, shift away from drains on the budget such as net zero, and excessive public employment and support local productive industries. All of which is achievable as a true independent Member of Parliament, not bound by idealism or party lines. I will be committed to doing what's right by the people of Monash and wider Australia. Thanks for joining me.
Authorised by Russell Broadbent MP, Independent Federal Member for Monash, 46C, Albert Street, Warragul, Victoria 3820.